worthiness,
Yeah.
my understanding of worthiness before I can go to the outside world. And where am I? Where do I need to begin again? What is my current struggle? How am I where am I perceiving versus where am I just, you know, not tolerating? Where am I surviving?
Yeah.
So that I can be so self-aware and to be able to sit down with myself and reflect on the patterns that make me lose touch with myself, like where I'm surviving or where I do things to impress. Am I doing them to earn acceptance while I'm already accepted? So it's an all-round, if I may call it, recipe for me to sit down and to go back to myself, to question the things I do, the things I say, how I react, how I respond to both internal and externals.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that. Since you started Return, has there been any element of either awareness or learning or change or action that has, been revealed to you or become, you became aware of as a result of the work that you're doing in Return 90?
Yes, yes. I like at home, now at home in my role as a mom,
Yeah.
I sat down and asked myself questions like, why do I shout at my child, for example? And, you know, I realized it's because I was not aware of, it's like I don't pause to the things I have accepted. You know, the way, that's how mothers are, the old software. Everybody does it. Stop laughing at me. And at work, why do I get pissed off when people don't do the things I expect them to do? And also awareness in terms of the things I also hear. Recently, like my boss, that day I said I am committing to deep aliveness, like fully present. And so there's a conversation between my colleague and my boss, and he was trying to choose something. And so my colleague said, you need to take Mulwa for the next engagement because she's very decisive. I and I was like, hey, I am decisive. And so on a normal day before return, I wouldn't have paid much attention, but that clicked a bell. I am decisive. And later on, another decision needed to be made. And I was asked again, why are you pussyfooting over this? And you're usually decisive. Like, take a few minutes and come. And in those few minutes, I actually went and reflected. Why is my response different? And so, yes, the willingness to be aware has made me, uh, change the filters of how I perceive and
Yeah.
respond to my environment, to conversations that would previously have passed. And also, I have cut on distractions. I evaluated how much time am I spending on my phone, what kind of activities I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so, yes, since Richard 90, I feel I have begun a new journey to myself, to the person I envision, to embody the person God designed me to be. Thank you.
Thank you. I really love what you said. So you said something there that I think it's extremely important for us to receive just the way you said it. They said you are decisive. Because if you look at those layers, people see your environment, they see your behaviors, they see your capabilities, period. They don't see anything else beyond that. Sometimes your capabilities are so loud to the environment, but internally your beliefs are louder. So sometimes you don't see what people see because your belief is louder than your capability to you. So people are like, oh, you are so kind, but you don't necessarily see it. Oh, so you are so creative, you don't necessarily see it. And this is the power of accountability, of being part of a community. These are just your co-workers. How about if you actually are with people who witness you evolve and then become the mirror? There are amazing attributes that I have, you have, which we are not even aware of. Because people see behaviors, they see capabilities. They don't see the identity. Sometimes the identity that is the strongest in that environment, sometimes it suppresses my awareness of my capabilities, awareness of my opportunities. And so I really love just that reflection, and I can't wait to see what happens by the end of the 90 days. Thank you, Ruth. Let's get someone else. Whose blessing is it to share with us? This is going to be it. Pale, where did you go? Sally, were you able to come on video? Beatrice. All right. Where did Shiro go? Oh, Shiro, yes, I see you. Let's go. Shiro Wabwangi, let's go. Oh, Ifale, you've come. Yes.
Good morning, everyone. Good evening, Doc.
Yes. Shiro, we started with you during the Momentum 90. That was the first one you joined, Momentum 90 2020. Was it 2023, 2024? That's the first one you joined. The 2022, 2023, Momentum 90.
Yeah.
Yes. So what has been the biggest element of awareness for you across the programs that you've been part of?
Across all of them, I think for me, the biggest awareness is that if you put in the work, the results will eventually present themselves. You may not consciously see them. It's almost like how if you're a mom and you have a baby, you don't see the baby changing, but every time the visitors come in, they're like, oh, the baby has grown so much. And you're like, yeah, actually, the baby can now sit before they couldn't, but you actually don't see the change. But as you continue putting in the work, definitely the change happens and the stability comes and you feel more grounded, more so on the inside, like your inside person. You're just more grounded. You slowly move away from a lot of survival and you become more stable, especially in challenging situations, so that people are constantly looking at you and saying, oh my goodness, you're so strong. How do you go through that? How do you still maintain a smile? How do you still do this? But it's that growth that has been able to happen internally inside of you. And I feel a lot of times it prepares you also for things, some unforeseen things that are usually ahead that may possibly have crashed you if you didn't have the preparation.
I've witnessed you carry immense weight when you started Momentum 90. I know the burden of care that you've carried in your hands, but I remember when I met you during the launch of Embody in Nairobi. I didn't tell you this, but I was just blown away by the amount of peace you exuded, regardless of what I knew had happened and was happening. So you may not know it, but you've inspired me that I've seen you exhibit strength and still show up during Momentum 90, Breakthrough 90, when we did Transformation, we did Momentum again. I just want to say thank you. I've seen it. And when you share that preparation, it leads to results that you can't always name, you've been a manifestation of that consistency. And you've given us, Sally, the entire journey. You brought Sally with you all through. Yeah. And Sally's, when was it on Monday or Tuesday? When this week was Sally's birthday, right?
Yes, on 29th.
29th. So 29th,
Yes.
yeah, so yesterday, your day, so the day before yesterday, rather. So,
Yes.
Sally, happy birthday. I sent you, Sally, a message. I have watched you. I met you during the book launch in Nairobi. And if there's a reason for us to do this kind of work, this is why. And I can't wait.
Mm.
I can't wait to
Mm.
see where you get to. So now,
Mm.
Shiro, what has been your
Yes.
longest running obstacle during these seasons of growth?
I think my longest standing obstacle, I would say, has been consistency. Like I've had uh, I've had consistency that has happened in certain seasons, and
Yeah.
then some seasons you drop off consistency, and sometimes you drop off for long. Maybe some significant season comes on,
Mm-hmm.
and so you find yourself dropping that. Like I know with my group that we were having the accountability. When I lost my dad, I just felt like I needed to hold space for myself, and so I dropped that consistency. So I think my biggest learning about the consistency is maybe it's okay to drop off, but I think you need to have like a measure of I can't drop off for more than this period of time
Absolutely.
so that it doesn't become an endless drop off.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And thank you for your honesty. That is just such a powerful insight. This is for you and I, for everyone here. That consistency doesn't look the same every day. Consistency doesn't look the same every season. It doesn't look the same. If it looks the same, it's not consistency, it is rigidity. Because this is how sometimes our goals can become punishment, so that I set a goal, instead of the goal leading me to growth, it leads me to guilt, where I start feeling guilty for a goal that I set, which I did not follow through. And what you're talking about, Shiro, is margin. Margin, creating margin. You set the goal to work out 5 times a week, and then you look at your life, you realize, no, 5 times is probably going to be too much. I'm going to start by doing it 3 times a week. As long as you do it 3 times a week, you avoid the guilt of not showing up 5 times, but you maintain the rhythm of showing up, because the goal is not for you to show up perfectly. The goal is for you to show up in a way that naturally fits into your life.
Mm.
The other trap of consistency is expecting perfection every single time you show up. And this might also show up during the assignments of RETURN90, wanting to make sure that my reflection is okay. How many lines will my reflection be? Mine is only 2 lines, right? It's because once you get in there, you're no longer returning. Now you're using RETURN90 to run instead of returning. Because it has become another area, not of presence, but of performance. So, Shiro, those seasons when things happen, I lost my father in 2024. And during the time when I'm grieving, that margin has to be there, because this is there's going to be a natural cycle, right? So a balance between not being haphazard by not having a clear journey to follow, but also not being rigid, so that my goals lead me to growth, not to guilt. My goals don't become punishment, they become opportunity for me to progress, opportunity for me to grow.
Mm.
And this is the power of being part of a community, because when we are honest with each other, we realize that we are struggling with the same things. We are struggling with the same thing, right? If you're not struggling with consistency, you're not human. You are an AI model. It's right. If you're not struggling with consistency, you're not human. You're an AI model. And every area where I find this mindset that comes to me that I am lagging behind, I always step back to ask the question, behind by whose standards, by whose timeline, by whose definition? so that the goals I set should never be a reason for me to beat myself down. The goals I set, and this is the power of pursuing the journey of returning to my authentic needs, my presence. I can never underperform in my presence, my deep aliveness. It's because there's no measure. If I'm deeply alive, presence is enough. So thank you so much, Shiro, for sharing that. Where did Ipale go? Let's come to you,
Thank
Ipale.
you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Ipale, good morning in the year of the Lord 2026. How are you doing?
Good morning, Jack Cherry. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I know that, so Ipale, Abby, Elsie, Frida, you've been in other previous programs. Ruth, I think you are the, and Faith, have you been in any other program before? And
no, this is my first.
okay, and Debbie. So it's I have intentionally been making the efforts to make sure that I watch out and see how you guys are coping, and to also definitely invite you to join the next face-to-face meeting. I think probably around 13th of February. Yes, a day before Valentine's, so that you meet the family, the rest of this family face to face. It's going to be very helpful. Ipale, how has the journey been for you from the beginning up to where we are now?
The journey has been insightful, let me say that.
Yeah.
And if I can borrow your word, it has been heavy. And I'm loving it. It is painful, but in a beautiful way. I think I've learned to be aware.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I think I was confused. And I think it's because it's the first time I'm interacting with the content. And also getting to understand, I think, just the language in the community.
Yeah.
I think I'm one person who likes to understand things like the concept, getting to know the definitions and all that. And I think I got lost in getting to know the definition of things.
Yeah.
So when I let go and just started flowing, I think now things are getting clear. Even just being deliberate to be aware of my limiting beliefs, what are some of the negative behaviors, and getting to, like, I have a book where I've written the limiting beliefs and what positive, what should I in terms of my thoughts.
Yeah.
I think the whole of this week I've been practicing being still. And one thing I've learned about being still is the fact that it opens your senses. I'm very much aware of my environment, even my thoughts. And just like you taught us the other day, you said when a negative thought comes in, it is okay, but be fast to flush it away and keep positive.
Yeah.
So that is what I've been practicing like the whole week, being still and aware of everything around me and inside me.
I love it. Yeah. Awareness, stillness is the foundation. So please continue doing that. I'm going to ask you if you're willing to share a specific negative belief, a limiting belief, or it's just, let's say, call it a limiting belief, a specific one that you do not feel that this is unique to you. If none is ready that you feel you can share, that's okay. But is there any on top of mind?
I think I can classify it of under worthy. Like,
yes,
you've given us the patterns, like feeling not worthy, because I realized that I always put other people first.
yeah,
And always myself last. I think it falls there. I don't know.
Okay, so
But
not feeling worthy. Anybody who has never felt this, you're free to leave the call. It's if this is unique to Ipalei, and I will continue with the rest of the meeting. So I was asking you about that because that is a universal limiting belief. The key lies in the why. Now, I wouldn't necessarily want you to share the whys because those are, I want those to be personal, but I want them to actually come out. Right? So the level of awareness, being able to see myself as I really am in this limiting belief. What is your unique, patentable, intellectual property, unique explanations for your own for your own, why do you feel you're not worthy? For me, the fact that I grew up, I did not know my biological father was the biggest explanation. Like it became so natural, right? It became so natural even when we are lining up with other boys to be selected to join the football team, I would know that I'll be the last one to be picked. Why? I don't have a father. Right? So that became my unique flavor. So for you as an individual, what are the reasons that your mind gives you so that because the truth will set me free, the truth will set you free, right? But the truth must set you free from a prison that you are behind. If you're not behind a prison, then what is the truth setting you free from? And what the truth is setting you free is unique to you. Identifying what is the specific. My worth has never been in question except for X, Y, and Z. Except for the fact that I was born the biggest boy anybody had ever seen. I was 10 kilograms at birth. So I was not born, I was delivered. If you've ever watched my video, I was not carried, I was transported. Right? So I had a starter. You can imagine boys, mchongoano, and you are there saying like, by the time you say, you've already received 3 of them, right? I was slower because I was a bigger boy. I was slower. And in the village, all sport, all enjoyment is running around. By the time I'm trying to hang on to the tree, they have already reached the guavas. So these are the specific things for me that I had to start working through to begin to view myself. I was bigger so that I can fight for them. And that was the case. Whenever we were accosted by boys from the other villages, they always knew if Mogire is here, we are going to be okay because I'll stand in front. But I never see that. I only see what is criticized. So for you, that's your assignment, I play for you. Anyone else who may take it, I don't know, because the rest of these people look okay. They never dealt with this problem. It's just you and I. What are the specific reasons? Because this is how I create room to receive the truth that my worth has never been in question. My worth has never been in question. Is there clouds around this? Is there smoke? Is there layers? Yes, those are the layers that I'm looking for. So that the truth will set me free. But what is the truth setting me free from? If I cannot identify the locks, they remain locked. And this is how I identify the locks. I can be very, very intelligent, but I have bought into identities, a couple of identities that actually keep me held back. Because you see, if you look at the 6 layers, there is the core self. The core self is pure, it's untouched. But right outside the core self, there is identity and beliefs. This is the inner software. You can score A's and do amazing academically, do amazing in your job, your profession. That is your capabilities, but your identity is still fractured. Now your capabilities become an expression to try to compensate for your identity. In other words, your behavior and capabilities and environment can act independent. In fact, they can become a way to try to earn your identity, right? So if I feel like I am not worthy, that is an identity issue. And this becomes one of the biggest questions for return. So thank you, Ipalei, for sharing that with us. I would like to reach a couple more of the people who are still new to this journey. I will ask, where is Debbie? Yes. Debbie. The lady of coffee. Good morning.
Good morning. I hope you can
Yes,
hear me.
we can hear you. What has been the most surprising element of the journey that you've been on from the 5-day return challenge and now the return 90 and the daily reset?
I'd say it is just being aware of the sensation I have just before I distract myself. Because I think I had never paid attention to that.
Please tell me more. I have no idea what you're talking about. Please tell me more.
Okay. So one of the things in terms of one of the things I became very aware of is that I am very easily distracted. I had attributed that to the fact that I have ADHD, which counts, but I have also been trying to pay attention to what happens just before I switch. And I've realized I can actually tell I am just about to go off. And now, that experience has been interesting because sometimes I can't stop it, even if I am aware of it.
Yeah.
But then it has allowed me to give myself, so for example, and this week, I struggled a lot with just feeling getting easily distracted. But what has been different is, for example, I feel like I just want to watch an episode of a show right in the middle of the day, and I ask myself why. So I get to ask myself, why do I feel like this? And if the urge is too strong, sometimes I'm like, okay, I am going to have it play on my other screen until I feel at what point I stop getting that extreme sensation. And when that happens, I can stop it and resume what I was doing. Previous me would be super guilty about, why am I like this? Why am I always getting distracted by things, or like I would be completely judging myself, and then I would spiral. Then I would end up watching the whole season because now I am, but I have noticed I am now able to be more in control. Doesn't mean I don't get the distractions. It doesn't mean I don't get I don't spiral. I still do, but it is happening with more awareness.
Yeah.
And I am able to bring myself back, which I wasn't able to do before.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does anybody else recognize that? Because I definitely recognize it in me. Yeah, Isabel, yes, Isabel, please, Gladys, please release Isabel. She doesn't recognize it. That connects when we go back to the return, the steps of return. That connects directly with the regulation. Sometimes you reach for a distraction, not because you need it, but because you need regulation. You need to break a pattern, and that's one of the things I've become really good at, breaking the pattern. Here's an example, okay? You are in a meeting and somebody says something that kind of rubs you in the wrong way. I will lock my, like, just pull in a breath, and then I lock it. If I lock it for like 10 seconds, it disrupts my nervous system, and that thing goes away. And this is just, it's remembering that the times when you reach for the phone and start scrolling, what you need is regulation. And you are using whatever you are reaching for regulation. Sometimes we are not hungry, but we'll get a biscuit or a banana. You're not hungry. You just need regulation. And you do something that regulates you. And for some reason, this doesn't regulate as well as a bottle of soda or juice. This does not regulate you as much, right? How long does it take walking on a treadmill to burn 2 biscuits? Like to burn the calories of 2 biscuits? 45 minutes to an hour. 2 biscuits, right? 45 minutes to an hour, and that is not brisk walk, that is walking, like really walking seriously. So just emotional regulation by itself can actually save you a lot of extra calories. Sometimes I caught myself today. I was in the clinic, and unfortunately I learned that one of my patients had a really bad event happen to them. And immediately I had it, I just had an emotional reaction to it, but it's in the middle of my day. I do not want to not feel, but I also don't want it to contaminate the rest of my day. I just did a breathing maneuver in that moment, and it actually diffuses that information. The breath work we do here, if you become angry, you become frustrated, if you actually do some kind of breath work in the moment, it will take that away. Debbie, the next time that urge comes, the reason why the urge comes and persists until you do something is because your body is yearning for regulation, for emotional regulation. Emotional regulation must start with nervous system regulation. And you reach the nervous system through your body. The most powerful way to reach your nervous system is breath. The next way is movement, some kind of movement. The third would be with humming. Those would be 3 really, really easy way. If you just, like when you feel like that, I promise you, if you yawn 10 times or just sigh deeply for like 5 times, your nervous system will regulate and that urge will be overtaken. So try that the next time that happens. And the next time you find yourself getting to WhatsApp, put it down and then yawn 10 times. And I'm serious. It will begin to train your nervous system in a different direction. And what is your biggest takeaway with regards to your day-to-day, other than this area of noticing when you get distracted, in terms of your day-to-day moments?
I think I'm more present. I'm more present.
I love you.
There are small things that I have learned from the daily reset from people. I mean, an example is I don't remember who had a goal of doing homework with their children. And it hit me. I hadn't been doing homework with my children. And I started, and it has been consistent, at least, and it's been a very good experience. So it's in very minute ways that if you're not paying attention, you may not even notice them, or I can't even explain them in full. But I feel like slowly by slowly, my life is being transformed.
The willingness to begin again.
Yes, the willingness to begin again, and the willingness to, I think also the other big thing for me is I'm judging. just judging myself less has somehow helped me to do more.
I
Yeah.
love it. Thank you so much, especially in growing Goka coffee to be an African giant. You can't judge yourself. Thank you so much, Debbie. I'm going to reach out to you, Abby and Faith, now, just really briefly before we wrap up, so that we get you both on. Faith, what has been the one question about this work that still remains unanswered for you?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. One of the big question that is still remaining that I'm yet to figure out.
Yes.
But just to mention, there's a lot of self-awareness that I've been doing, especially when it comes to emotion. I know
Yeah.
this has been happening, and it is the reason why I joined the RETURN90. Somebody mentioned or leave a comments, and it really rubs bad on my emotions, and I get angry. I've been able to get the feeling, take a pause,
Yeah.
reflect on it, and move on. So some days I could even go for 3, 4, a whole week being moody, but now
Yeah.
I'm able to shed it off. What I'm yet to figure out is my behavior. I've been to places where I feel like Ipale mentioned, I feel unworthy and I tend to shrink.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that is a belief that I have within me that I need to work on. I'm going to put down the specific reasons why I feel that. But one of the things that I think could be the reason is growing up as a child with an alcoholic father could be the reason. Yeah.
Yeah, that would definitely be an area that there's a lot of exploration that you would do there. Have you ever worked with a therapist?
Yes, I'm working with one currently.
Okay, all right. So when certainty can be withdrawn anytime, especially just based on the example you've shared from your history, when certainty can be withdrawn anytime, as a child, the only way for you to survive is to become very good at control. And sometimes the control involves shrinking, because if you can disappear, then you'll probably be safe. Yeah, so I encourage you, continue working with the therapist. And I think your biggest assignment is to discover what is it that you subconsciously feel the need to protect or control. The time when you get into a mood and you hold that mood, you are holding that mood because you can control the mood. You don't know what you will feel if this mood goes away. It's anger is, being angry or being frustrated or holding a grudge, or these are elements of control. Because that way I can you offended me in 1997, I can hold on to that, and I'm holding it. It's an element of control, right? But he came, he was drunk, and then he shouted at me, and he has never apologized. I will never forget that. That's an element of control. So there is the part, because at the end of the day, maybe there are some events or words that the other person may never be able to undo. In fact, they may not even remember. But I remember it in detail. In fact, I can tell you the intensity of emotion I felt. It was 9 out of 10. Yeah, I was having a good day until they did what they did, right? So I really applaud you for working with a therapist. Use the language you get here to help you identify the areas where you can converse with your therapist to deepen your awareness. Now, let's hear. Thank you so much, Faith. Let's hear from Abby, our newest member of the family. Good morning, Dr. Mutai.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone, and good evening, Coach.
Yes.
Yeah,
How has this whirlwind been for you?
that was a very good way to describe it. It really has been a whirlwind. And
Yeah.
it's challenging. It's challenging. Can I say maybe old instructions? Every day is a challenge to the old instructions because we'll unlearn this, but let me just use the old instruction of
Yeah.
I'm the type of person who likes to be prepared before I even start,
Yes.
which is a
Yes.
paradox. Yeah. So I'm the type of person who would have wanted to read through this workbook and reflected on it, made my own notes, correlated with research from the internet, and then start the program. But here I am, so it's going against old instructions, and it is definitely also um, challenging, things like perfectionism and things like that. I think one thing that is still a key thing that that even as everyone was sharing, and I felt I could relate with a lot of what different people were saying, was the area of, self-beliefs,
Yeah.
because I can find that I look to define myself through achievement, and even the achievement is not enough because of some beliefs and things like that. So I want to really reflect in this coming couple of days to really reflect on those key needs. Okay, they're
Yeah.
all key, but the ones that are really standing out for me, identity, the beliefs, and also the core self. So that I really, really put down where I started to feel that I'm not good enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
And once you start with the where, I guess it's easier to now unlearn. Yeah.
I know that it's been a while, and there's no doubt about it. Partly because some of the members of the community have been here a lot longer. And I can tell you, I can look at each of these individuals and can tell you when I know they faced resistance, whether it was during momentum or during breakthrough challenge. And when we say breakthrough, that is 90 days. Especially during breakthrough, we met almost every day. So you can imagine how much time that means we spent together. So I can tell you when they struggled with reflection, when they struggled. So it's where we are today. It's not where everyone started from. I promise you, 90 days from today, 6 months, you will look back and it will be a totally, totally different experience. And congratulations to you. You are in a profession that is built on perfection. And you try and get as good grades as you can. You do as well as you can there. If you make a mistake, it becomes almost part of your identity. That's how medicine goes, and there's a good chance I might know one or two things about that. So disconnecting from that, I will tell you, I know Ruth and Abby, you're both in medicine. Disconnecting from my achievements was one of the hardest things for me. Stepping back, like returning. I will tell you, 2017, when I literally put my certificate in a box and locked it, those initial months, I felt like I'm losing a part of me, right? Because it is 6 or 5 years of intensely doing the same thing over and over, and then after that, you never put that thing away. Being able to redefine yourself afresh from inside out was a very, very, very hard journey. Very, very hard journey. And this is what we are all doing here. Finding the truth within, the child of God that is within, the seed that will become the oak, because that seed, the seed grows outward. The egg cracks outward. The butterfly hatches outward. And yet the environment can teach us to try and use, if I get one more certification, I think I'm going to be to be better, right? If I can get my second master's, I am Dr. Mogire, but if I get a PhD, no, I'll be Dr. Mogire. So so we kind of get caught in this loop of trying to use external, coming backward. I am glad you are here. You are working through what we are working through. The workbook is an excuse for everyone here to think about return every day. And if you've been able to touch the workbook every single day, you are the exception. I can tell you that. I've been doing this long enough. If you've been able to touch it every day, you are the exception. The goal is to touch it every day. But if you don't touch it every day, that is not a reason for you to feel guilty. Because if you're feeling guilty, now you're using the workbook to run. You're not returning. If you don't get to it, you just have to accept that as a pattern that happened and figure out, you need a different strategy, different approach. You need to commit to a specific time so that you can come back to it. What question remains? What is the most readily available question in your mind, Abby, about the work we are doing, that if you feel as you make progress, that question having an answer? Or what area, what specific element do you feel like you have any specific question about?
I think I was, at was it last week? I was feeling a bit like Ipale, when she had mentioned the feeling of there's so much you don't know, are you gonna catch up and things like that. How do I catch up? But I spoke to Gladys, and she really guided me and encouraged me in that, and she was like, this is more like a lifelong learning sort of thing. Just pick one thing. It's not a race that you must be at par, Pick one thing, start with that one thing, reflect on that one thing. And that removed the pressure. So I think that was my main question, like, what should I start with, so that I can again plan and be like, okay, Monday I'm going to do the four questions, four reasons. Tuesday, I'll work on instructions. Wednesday, I'll do strategies, so now going through like a thing you must run through, but just being present. So I think the question I had was answered when I spoke with Gladys. So I think one key lesson that I feel I have already started to practice this week is to be present. To be present, not to be on, if I had done the 3 weeks, will I be together with everyone a week from today? Just to be present today. Just today, to be present in everything that I'm doing, to just be present. And a practical way was I was at the gym, and sometimes you have like a set of things to do based on what the trainer has said. And one was like, there were like 32 repetitions of something, but that's not how the trainer put it. The trainer said we'll do 8 repetitions, but we'll do 4 sets. So my mind is immediately 8 times 4, 32. How are we going to do 32 of these things? Impossible. But then I thought, okay, how about I just focus on doing that one, and then we'll do the second one, and then we do the third one. And before I knew it, it wasn't necessarily easier physically, but I did it. It was easier mentally. And when it's easier mentally, it kind of becomes easier physically. I don't know if I am making sense with that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Gladys. For everyone, please remember, if you can't reach me, Gladys has been Madam Consistent from day one. Right, day one. Let me tell you the story of Gladys. Gladys came in. She invited so many people, and they joined, but most of them dropped along the way. And then she remained. She's like, I'm gonna join this, I'm gonna bring these people. Well, she didn't realize that they were escorting her. And she remained here, and it's been an honor walking this journey with you, Gladys. Abby, you are on the right path. The fact that you are here, I applaud you, and we have work to do. I received so many requests last year to coach people, and many of them I couldn't even honor, and you are one of those whose request I couldn't honor. But these we are going to get to make a lot of progress this year. Here's my ask for all of you. Watch the rest of this week. Find time to watch 2 of the recent videos from sometime in the last 2 weeks. If you can watch more, that's okay. Watch 2 of those videos. Number 2, revisit your workbook. Number 3, the screenshot I shared, I specifically want to make sure that you actually think about this. You think about this. Alkara in the context of these 2, certainty and variety. If you don't have a screenshot of this, please reach out to me or Gladys. We make sure that we have this. I would encourage you to log into the daily reset. You are going to see that there is not going to be any didactic. It is all interaction. We want to make this like really, really, really practical. And next week will also be interaction. And then after that, there will be 2 pieces that I would like for us to cover, which will form part of the language, the core of what we are doing. And there's no falling behind. We will get through. We'll get to where we are so ready for the second part of Return 90, where I can't wait for us to I can't wait to experience it with you. This brings us to about 20 minutes past, and this will be the end of the recording.